Hey, welcome to the show. Daver here.
What up? This guy's Chad.
And Chandler is back as well. How we doing tonight, boys?
Solid. How you doing?
I'm good, Chandler.
Couldn't be better. Had another episode of Dynamite. Let's get to it. What are we expecting, Dave?
Yeah. We're gonna try to answer a couple questions here. Let's see who the winners were for the Continental Classic. How that unfolded tonight. We're gonna maybe find out who could be in the Devil Dumpling Gang. Those darn rascals who are after MJF. And can Adam Copeland beat Christian Cage and win that TNT title? Yeah, let's find out on the show. Okay. Dynamite, December 6th, 2023. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I think of you, Chad, every time they go to Canada. And they're gonna be hitting them up in March for a little Canadian tour, it looked like too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
I
like
like
Kyle
that.
O'Reilly might be back for that leg of the tour too. He's thinking he's advertising possibly the Canadian leg, so got that to look forward to.
Is he Canadian?
I don't know. I think that was just kind of his milestone, like he was at. I don't think he's Canadian. But then
Okay.
again, I don't know every single Canadian, just most of them.
I thought you
Yeah,
guys
right.
studied that in school. Like, here's the yellow book. Remember all these names and numbers.
Yeah, eh?
What's that all about?
Absolutely. First match of the night. We had John Moxley versus Roosh. Moxley going into it with 6 points and Roosh with 3. We got I just gotta say, Roosh looks like $1,000,000 and Roosh looks like a main eventer. Uh, brutal, powerful, violent. Uh, yeah, I was actually very excited to watch this match as soon as I heard about it coming up. Um, their styles were perfectly complemented in the ring, hard hitting, uh, no backing down. Yeah, definitely loved it. Uh, yeah, Moxley landed pretty awkward on his arm or shoulder at one point. Uh, again, they got me. I don't know if that was part of it or planned or they had me worried. Like, oh crap! Like here we go. Um, but yeah, they fought in the crowd. The crowd was super hot, by the way, in Montreal. They were definitely into it. I think that was their debut in Montreal.
Yes, it
Pretty
was.
cool. Roosh hit Moxley with a beer in the crowd. I thought that was kind of a dick move with his rehab and all. Uh, yeah, that
Yeah,
probably
them Canadian
didn't.
beers are strong, eh?
Yeah. Uh, Roosh did his patented faking the corner kick just to kick Mox right in the face. Super disrespectful. Then he does his pose in the middle of the ring. Moxley flipped him off. Roosh slams Mox into the barricade. Uh, Mox's heels take the brunt of it. That didn't look like it felt great. Roosh ended up hurting his leg from a trapped arm DDT by Moxley. Roosh gives Moxley a pile driver, and a little later on, we get a really loud chop to Moxley in the corner. Then we get a superplex to John Moxley. Really like that. Taz called it a super duper plex from the tippy top rope here.
He seemed in a
uh,
particularly good mood.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, yeah. Tony Schiavone really made me pop too, and you probably know what I'm talking about. But we'll get to that. Um, yeah, yeah. He called it the super duperplex and the tippy top here. Roosh dives on to Moxley on the outside, or rather, Moxley dives on Roosh on the outside.
Like you got a friend there. They're trying to help.
I do. Yeah, good boy, Thorn. This is Thorn. Yeah, I know you're a good boy. Um, and let's see, both men could
Yeah, good boy.
were down on the mat. They could barely beat the 10 count. We get a big elbow to John Moxley. Moxley goes down from a discus elbow from Roosh, and kind of had me worried there with all the concussion shenanigans going on. I noticed Paul Turner, the ref, checking on Moxley. I thought that was great. Uh, I'm sure they really polished their concussion protocols. I hope they did at least. Um, we get Bull's horns. Uh, well, almost Bull's horns to Moxley, but Moxley gets up. Uh, Roosh goes for Bull's horns again, but we get a King Kong lariat, then the Death Rider for a 2 count. Moxley gets Roosh in a bulldog choke and makes Roosh pass out. That'd probably be the only way to get Roosh beat. They played that right. We got Moxley with 9 points. Gosh, yeah, what a match. Again, this whole tournament has been right up my alley. Uh, yeah. How do you feel about it, Chandler?
Uh, I think I just had a little too high expectations for this match, especially because of either last week or the week prior with Roosh and Briscoe, where they just started immediately killing each other. And I felt like this match was just a bit more slower than that. But it was still pretty dang good. I liked a lot of the ending where it was exactly the same pin as last week, or the same finish as last week, where he goes for the Death Valley Driver, gets a kick out. All right, I'm just going to put you immediately in the choke and make you tap out. That's a really good way to end these matches. And I also really liked how, what else was it? Roosh, right as soon as he passed out and the bell rang, he kind of like stirred and was like, oh crap, like what? So that really protected Roosh in that, where he was such a strong force that he couldn't pass out, even though he did, but he was right back at it, kind of like Hogan back in the days. So that was pretty nice. But other than that, this match wasn't really for me. What did you think, Chad?
Yeah, I thought it was good, but Mox and Roosh had a match further back. I thought that match was definitely a little better. This one definitely didn't quite live up to that hype. But yet again, I think Mox is probably trying not to bleed so much now because Tony Khan's kind of new list of rules. Because yeah, that was funny. And my first thing, like before the match even started, I wrote, "Will Mox bleed?" He did not. But yeah, I thought Roosh still looked incredibly strong, even in defeat. Like you said, he kind of briefly passed out, but then jumped up like he was ready to go. Him disrespecting Moxley during the first bits of that match was hilarious. Yeah, all in all, it was good, not great, and I kind of thought it would be better, but I still enjoyed it. How about you, Dave?
Yeah, yeah. It was really good. Yeah, good, not great. Uh, the match they had before was a little better. Um, yeah, yeah, it was good. I liked it. Um, yeah. After that, we've got a video package with Jay White and Jay Lethal. They've got history back in Ring of Honor. I thought that was kind of cool to see that. Um, Jay Lethal needs this victory. And let's see. Jay White is 1-1 for the Continental Classic so far. So, yeah, looking forward to that match coming up. After that, we get Renee Paquette with Roderick Strong and the Kingdom. He says MJF is going to put his dagger in the heart of my best friend by proxy, Samoa Joe. I will live with the consequences of my actions until now. Roderick Strong stands up. They roll the wheelchair off the stage. Roderick says, "This wheelchair has held me back for far too long. Far too long." And then he throws the mic on the floor. Yeah, I like it. Looks like he's going to be a little more active now. Yeah, I like the whole weird wheelchair thing, but yeah, maybe he'll be pick that violence up a little bit, a notch or two. Yeah, how do you gentlemen feel?
It was a miracle. He stood up.
I thought this was better than the Bloodline, honestly. So I cinema. I'm kind of kidding there. I was horrendously entertained by it, but it wasn't like, I don't know. I kind of get the point where people were saying Roddy's not the best on the mic. Like, you do a backstage promo where it's heavily contained and just silly, it's fine. But this, it was like, he was just like, "Oh, I'm suffering from my own consequences. No more while I suffer from them." And he just was like, "Get up." So, and like the story of Roderick Strong is really entertaining because he's an idiot, and now he's like, I don't have to be in this anymore." But like, you really got to suspend your disbelief pretty hard for this. But I'm still enjoying it. What do you think, Chad?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it for what it is. I kind of want to fast forward to the point where they start doing some more serious wrestling because Roddy and the Kingdom are all fantastic wrestlers. I really, other than the Chris Jericho match, you haven't really seen a lot from them. Some squash matches and stuff. So
I'm
yeah,
sure
let's.
they're on Ring of Honor and Rampage all the time.
So I haven't seen seen them work much, but I really want to. Maybe when they get revealed to be part of the Devil Dumpling Gang, maybe we'll get to see some action.
Spoilers.
Stay
We're
tuned
not
for more.
we're not there yet.
Oh man, I am the worst. Yeah, no, like I said, in spurts, this is funny, but I feel like it's kind of overstaying its welcomes, and I just kind of want to fast forward to the bits where they get into the ring and you get to see them actually whoop some ass because they're all really good.
Hey, I think that'll happen next week.
I hope so. Dave, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, now that you kind of bring it up, it is kind of not getting old, but yeah, I mean, I feel like they kind of evolved it a bit. No more wheelchair now, so they might be kicking it into another gear now. So yeah, looking forward to it. I never knew anything about him from NXT, but I'm a fan now, so I'll be rooting for Roderick Strong no matter what. Um, yeah. After that, we get Renee Paquette in front of MJF's locker room door. Adam Page walks up and he's like, "Oh, am I in the shot?" Uh, while he's there, he says to Swerve, "You beat me in a Texas death match on pay-per-view. We're bound by something bigger than either of us. This is not over. I know what you want more than anything uh, from this life. I will make sure you never have it." Um, then MJF pops out of nowhere. says, "Howdy, Seabiscuit." uh, Makes fun of the death match and couldn't tell who was going to get more STDs. They argue about the first Double or Nothing and their match for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. MJF or Adam Page makes a joke about MJF going to be a cat person in the future. MJF accuses Adam Page of being the devil. That really, not in a lot of people's minds. Got to be a red herring, right?
Yeah, I have some theories.
Probably. I think for me, at least, it's kind of nice to have another name in the mix that we weren't really saying. Like, nobody was guessing Hangman Page, and now it's like, well, they have said Hangman Page and the devil. That is a chance that he is the devil. So it's nice that I don't have to just be like, oh, it's Jack Perry. Now it's like, oh, it might be Hangman. Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, from a storytelling perspective, I have an idea, which is they're gonna fold Adam Page in. Like this is like the beginnings of part of their rivalry, and then Adam Page is going to be the avenue in which Swerve Strickland gets into the main event picture. Yeah, MJF and Adam Page will start going at it, then Swerve will somehow insert himself into it. And maybe that's the avenue in which Swerve may possibly takes the belt on him further down the line. Kind of my like
Yeah.
long-term storytelling idea.
I could easily see a world where Swerve goes, hey, didn't they just beat you twice in a row at 2 pay-per-views? Like, why are you getting a world title shot before me? So
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. My little reckless speculation for the week.
It could be a triple threat
Oof, ooh, that'd be fantastic.
have Swerve pin Page again. That'd be pretty spicy.
for the title.
Yeah. That way you protect MJF, you protect that Swerve and MJF solo match, and then new champ. I still stand by personally Joe beats Max at World's End because supposedly Max is still shoe injured, so we shouldn't have a shoe injured guy as champ. And then Swerve beats Joe in like a month or at Revolution because I don't know. I want Joe to have the title. I don't need him to have it for that long.
Cool.
So yeah, after MJF accuses Adam Page of being the devil, um, they get heated and they get in each other's face. Samoa Joe steps in and says, "He's my responsibility now." Uh, he says to MJF, "We got other issues tonight, and they don't involve him." So yeah, he's MJF's keeper. He's got to keep him healthy for the big title match at World's End. Um, I kind of like that dynamic that he has with MJF right now. Um, uh, I don't think I would have really thought about that roundabout way to get there, but I like it. So, uh,
Yeah, I love their little one-upsmanship there. Oh, you remember when I did this? You remember when I did that? I thought that was really well done.
yeah, yeah, it was cool. They do have pretty big history with the beginnings of the company. So, yeah, the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal, and the Battle Royal for the AEW title shot, right?
Yep.
2 different events. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Um, yeah, like the first part of the Hangman promo, love it. He is on point right now, on fire with his poetic words. They have meaning. Yeah, loving it. And then anything MJF says is basically, sounds great. So yeah, after that, we've got another Continental Classic Gold League match. Um, Fire match. Gosh. Mark Briscoe coming into it, no points against Swerve Strickland, who has 6 points. Um, We get Tony Schiavone saying there's a lot of great competition in WCW.
Oh, he said it. He said the
Yeah,
word.
it took him 4 years, but he finally got there.
Yep. Yeah. Jim's only said WWE like 12 times, so uh no big deal. I popped. I was like, yes. And then I could have swore Taz said uh uh a 40-year Freudian slip.
Hey, everyone
Uh
gets a couple, right? I mean, we still forgive
yeah,
Jim
yeah.
Ross, like you just said. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I thought it was cool. I love to hear that name. Uh we get Mark Briscoe doing his beautiful drop kick through the ropes where he just kind of shoots back in the ring. They exchange chops on the apron. Swerve suplexes Mark Briscoe over the barricade onto the floor from inside the crowd. Um, we get a beautiful fisherman's buster to Swerve for a 2 count. Swerve later on, deadlift, German suplexes, Mark Briscoe. Uh, yeah, very even match. I really love how they're pushing Mark Briscoe to highlight his ability right now. Um, Mark Briscoe hit a big clothesline for a 2 count. Uh, Briscoe tried but couldn't hit the J Driller. Kind of the motif of the whole tournament for him. He'll hit it, right?
he'll probably hit
Uh,
it when he gets to Jay Lethal because it seems like the story they're telling with the both of them is spoiler for the other match with Jay Lethal, but they're both going in with no points and they both can't win a match. And so it's going to be, well, who can end up winning a match and getting some points? Because it's not just this Continental Classic. I think they said it in this match where it's also next year's Continental Classic where you want to look good enough to still be, you know, thought of or
Yeah.
entertained to be back in it. So, they're like, oh, we need one more person, Mark Briscoe or Jay Lethal. Briscoe won last round. He actually got a couple points. Lethal didn't. So that at least on commentary, they're still selling it. I wish they had done it a little bit differently, but I'm still into this. But continue, Dave.
yeah, we get the house call to Mark Briscoe, followed by a 450 splash, only for Mark Briscoe to put up his knees. He rolls up Swerve for 2. Briscoe goes for a froggy bow, but Swerve puts up his knees and tries to roll up Briscoe for a 2. I like that little exchange. Uh, the crowd was super hot. We got some "This is awesome" chants. Mark Briscoe goes for a J Driller on the apron, but Swerve reverses into a Death Valley Driver on the apron. Uh, we get a Swerve stomp for the win. Yeah, damn, what a match. Uh, I definitely like this match more than the Moxley Roosh match for sure. Now that I'm kind of going through everything. Um, yeah, gosh, I again, I'm glad they're pushing Mark Briscoe. It took, unfortunately, his brother to pass away to get him signed to AEW, but now that he's there, they're investing in him, which they should have done. So, yeah. What do you think about it, Chad?
Oh, I loved it. All week, this is the match I've been looking forward to. I was actually a little surprised it wasn't the main event. That I was like, oh yeah, there's like 2 title matches too. Uh, that I like completely forgot about because this is sort of what I was focusing on. I love how similar to like a New Japan match, which is kind of fitting because this is kind of like their version of the G1, where like the beginning of the match was kind of slow, methodical. It was really setting up the story. Then by the end, those last few minutes was just bang, 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 bang. Like it was awesome. It just built to that crescendo. Then you had those 2 high spots that both ended in the knees, and oh yeah, it was all in all, for me, I think it was the best match of the night. Um, yeah, great in-ring storytelling, great finish. I really wanted Briscoe to win. My heart broke a little when he didn't, but I get why. I mean, just Swerve's in career form right now. Probably nobody in the industry right now is as hot as that guy. But yeah, that was kind of my take on it. How about you, Chandler?
Yeah, of course. Match of Swerve and Briscoe. I loved it. Just not even a negative, just like a question I have to you. I had something different in my notes for this, and I was just wondering if you guys had it. Or like, because you guys said he won with a stomp, and like every other podcast I've heard today said he won with a stomp, but I could have sworn Swerve went for the stomp, and Briscoe was able to roll him up, and then Swerve rolled him up with the crucifix and won with that, which I know that's
Yeah,
basically
that's what I thought too. Was he got his knees up for the froggy bow, and he sort of returned the favor because
Mhm.
Briscoe tried to roll him up after he got his knees up after the 450. I thought it was like a symmetry thing.
Yeah,
So
it doesn't matter to the match, obviously, but that's just what I thought happened. But anyways, I this was a great match. There's a lot of like funny little moments in it where Briscoe got sent like over the barricade, and I think he was trying to like high five some fans, and there was like this old couple in the middle, like front row, and they were just like, please don't, like, we're not interested in this." And he's like, ah. So of course, just watching Briscoe terrorize those old people was hilarious. Yeah, just a really fun match. This was probably no, this was not my match of the night, but it was very good, very well put together. And also, like you, my heart breaks for Briscoe because I wanted him to get like a draw or a win, or as much as I love Swerve, Swerve is going to go far in this tournament. Swerve is going to go far in his career. I hate to say it, I almost feel like this it's not, but it feels like this tournament is a stepping stone or like a little two below Swerve right now. But regardless, I get to see Swerve wrestle once a week, so that's not a bad thing.
yeah, next week, Mox Swerve.
I don't even want to think about
Our
that.
winner is coming. Did you hear the Von Erichs are going to be there?
Is Christian? Can he? Will he? He doesn't even got to say anything. He's just got to like play his music. He stands up on the ramp and he just looks at them, and they're like, "No, no, 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 no." It's all I need.
Christian Cage?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, there's some
Is there, is,
real good dead dad jokes there.
oh gosh, all right, that went over my head at first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe you could
okay.
give him the claw.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man. Whew, anyway, after that we get Renee Paquette with Mariah May. She says Tony Khan watched all of her work in Stardom. He loves Japanese wrestling. He's not an idiot. Uh, let's see. Renee wants to know about her debut and who her first opponent will be. Mariah May won't tell her. She said it's Tony Storm's night. Uh, so it's totally going to be Tony Storm, right?
Yeah, as her first opponent. I heard a rumor that it's like Mariah May is setting up all these opponents and stuff for her, and she's behind the scenes planning it all. I'll wait and see.
Ooh.
Because apparently, we have the Tony Storm match that happens, and then Tony Storm wins, and immediately Mariah May disappears. Wouldn't you expect her to give her idol some fanfare? Hmm.
Ah, so did she sneak Riho on her?
Whoa,
Oh
whoa,
no, spoilers again.
spoilers!
I am so bad at my job.
Might as well
Oh
start saying
man.
the F word. This podcast is over. We can't
Going,
recover.
going down the going down the crapper.
It's all
Um
Renee's fault.
oh shit. Anyway, after that we get well, what we thought was going to be Samoa Joe and MJF versus the Devil Dumpling Gang. Joe gets to the ring. The devil strobe lights come on. He's surrounded by dumplings, and the lights go out. All the dumplings are gone, and the devil shows up on the big screen. The screen cuts out, and it shows MJF on the ground, unconscious, with a broken bottle and the triple B on the ground. No match tonight. Um, yeah, I'm definitely seeing uh Matt Taven as one of the body shape of a dumpling, and Wardlow's definitely one of the dumplings. He's the big one. Uh,
Well,
I mean,
he tweeted out earlier on Wednesday before the show came out about like, oh, Dynamite tonight, I'm gonna be there. And then guess who wasn't on Dynamite? At least we didn't see him by name on Dynamite. So
ooh, yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Um, I would imagine Mike Bennett would be one of them too. Uh, but yeah, there were four at least, right? There's got to be one more. Who are we missing?
uh, it's either Roderick Strong, and he's just in on it, or it's Luke or fuck, what's Jungle Boy. That silly goober, it's Jungle Boy, and they're like playing Roderick Strong for a fiddle, like they're playing him like a dummy.
I think they're doing that. I don't think he's in on it. None of them looked like Roderick Strong to me, body shape. So,
Sean
Jungle Boy
Spears,
Jack
uh,
Perry.
he's pretty generic too. So
yeah, true. Um, but um, yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Like now that it can't be CM Punk, who could it be?
I don't know.
Jack
I
Jack
wrote
Perry.
Perry.
down in my notes the only way I'm going to be satisfied by the ending of all this now is if it ends up being Dalton Castle and the boys and some more boys.
It's just two more boys. One of them's really big.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I'm cool with that.
I'm kind of just cynical on this now. Not that I think it'll be bad, but I'm like, oh, I think the Devil's Jack Perry, and I think the Devil Dumpling Gang are gonna be, like Sammy Guevara or
Sammy Guevara.
Kyle O'Reilly, which none of those are bad names, but it's like I want someone new, I want someone fresh. Like only reason I care about the Hangman stuff is because I didn't expect it or I wasn't thinking it. Or it's like, oh, that's an interesting idea. That's an interesting twist. That's someone changing. But
Yeah, pull off the mask and it's like Tatanka or something.
what if it's like Kenny Omega and he's like, yeah, I'm sick of this tag team with Chris Jericho. I wanna kill you. I want the title. I beat the Don Callis family. This is how I'm back, and it's the Young Bucks, and it's heel elite.
I
That'd be
think
dope.
I want that. I want that the most.
I don't know, just an idea. All heel. Well, then let's say that it's the Young Bucks, right? And it's Kenny Omega and it's the Elite. Wouldn't you be fine if Wardlow was a pawn for the Elite more so than the Devil Dumpling Gang? Like I could stomach that a bit better because
Oh
it's
yeah, if I was gonna chain my something to the wagon or whatever that old saying is, you would go after the VPs of the company, the guy who's like built it all. Like, yeah, the elite is the way to shoot yourself to the moon. Yeah, that would make sense.
I think you know what I would say if this was revealed to be the Elite and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna come after Maxwell because we can because we're the EVPs, like lean into their real life sort of roles. That could be interesting. I don't believe that. I'm just kind of coming up.
No,
I think that's the first idea I've said that I actually am like, oh, I actually
I
would.
that's actually now become my favorite thing. That hadn't actually occurred to me, but now it's like, oh yeah, they kind of faded into the background at all of this. They've like their little temper tantrums aside, but it's actually kind of plausible too. It'd be the most interesting thing now.
Like in the beginning, they never wanted to, win too many matches or win all the titles because they didn't want to seem like they were, we're the EVPs. Of course we win and everything.
You could say
That backfired.
Yeah. You could say a dark cloud, came over them and ruined them and turned the Elite darker than they ever were. CM Punk. You just don't say that on live TV, but you say there was this cloud that changed the Elite for the worse. So now we're making All Elite Wrestling our bitch. Something like that. Like an NWO, modern NWO.
Give me that. Give it.
Yeah. Yeah. Although now I got to
Reality.
run this clip by Grapple-Sauce Legal to make sure the CM Punk mention won't get us sued.
Oh no, I said it'd be at the end of the show. It's ruined.
Oh no, our legal department says it's okay.
Okay. Back to reality. Back to Jungle Boy. Back to the kingdom.
Which, by
Let's
the
come
way,
back.
it's actually Mark Sterling.
Ooh.
Tony Nese. Anyway, yeah, we'll find out eventually. After that, we get a really good Mox promo. He says, "I'm humble before God and my mother, but look, I know exactly who I am. I know exactly what I'm capable of. I'm 3-0. I expected to be 3-0. I expect to be 5-0. I expect to win the Continental Classic, bitch, because I'm the ace of the world." Then walks up Swerve Strickland, baby, and Nana. He says 9-0. 9-0. Says he's willing to do whatever it takes. Mox says, "Me too." Swerve says, "See you in Texas, Playboy." Woo, holy shit. Give it to me. Yes, please. I don't remember them ever facing each other.
Yeah, no, I think this will be a first.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very, very intrigued. I'm sure I'm going to be very satisfied after the match is over. What do you think, gentlemen?
Oh, I'm going to be incredibly satisfied with Mox v Swerve. I mean, come on. Let's be a little real here. This is what the uh, Gold League, I keep on getting them mixed up, but the Gold League, this is what it's all about, was Swerve and Mox. Is it feels like it's especially like the way it's going is there's two top dogs, and it's not that like Jay and Roosh can't come back, but it's really two top contenders in this, and then everyone else. So now we get to see the two top guys in this. It's kind of like last week where we had Brian or Danielson and Kingston. Like you could kind of argue that was the most important match of the Blue League, and it felt like it because I would say that's probably the best match we've had of this classic so far. My opinion.
Yeah,
So
no, and there's a good chance we'll get both of those matches twice because then the 2 points leaders have to fight each other to go to the finals. So there's always that going to be one rematch. So yeah, I think Mox and Swerve you'll probably see again in the semis, and probably I'm thinking hopefully there's still a path for Eddie to make it and maybe get to see Eddie Bryan again too.
we'll see what happens. We'll see if he can beat Claudio.
I hope so. He's done it once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everyone out there, if you like our podcast, like what you're hearing, yeah, give us a like, subscribe, catch our Dynamite review, our Collision reviews, predictions. We like to redeem these nuts and eat spicy food. Death Nut Challenge. We might try the sour 1-Up challenge here soon, possibly. We're batting that around. But yeah, hit that notification bell. It'll tell you when we're posting new content. Awesome.
Ooh, I do have another possible. We talked about it off camera, but another possible punishment in the future for predictions. I have a friend
Yeah.
who's got an inline into some local wrestling promotion, so maybe we could take some chops as a punishment in an actual ring. I think that'd be dope.
I'd take those bare chested, man. I could do it. I'll take them. I'll take them. I'll pick all the worst ones on purpose because I want that one. Don't you want to see me cry? Like and subscribe for that.
Yes, leave a note in the comment if you want to see that dude get chopped.
I'll do it if okay. How about this? If this video can get 50 likes, no matter who wins or lose, if we get this working, I'll take a chop. So if I lose, that's 2. But if I win, I get 1. If we can make it work. If we 50 likes on the video, get it going.
All right. It's out there on the internet. Cool. All right, back to Dynamite. We've got the host of Turner Classic Movies, Brian Mankiewicz.
Good job
Don't
on the
really know
name.
who he is. Cool. Don't really know who he is, but yeah, host of Turner Classic Movies. He says every now and again, every now and then, a performer comes along that redefines what it means to be human. Uh, every slam brings a smile. Every pile driver paints a picture. Playing the part of AEW Women's Champ, Timeless Tony Storm. Pretty cool. Then we get Tony Storm versus Sky Blue. Uh, Tony Storm gets in the ring, and did you guys catch it? She said, "I'm ready to grapple."
She watches
Uh,
the show. She
I
watches the
popped.
cast.
Yeah,
I
Her
popped.
shout
I was like,
out.
I hope Chad and Chandler heard that. uh, we get a pretty mean headlock to Sky Blue from Tony Storm. She has it on there for a little while. Little later, Sky Blue went to dive on Tony Storm on the outside, but Tony Storm punches her right in the face. Later on, Tony Storm gets on Luther's shoulders and throws Sky Blue off the apron. Uh, Pretty cool spot. I can't believe Luther didn't get ejected, but okay. I mean, we gotta think like in a battle royal or whatever, they never eject like people who help, right? That's kind of a trope.
No,
You know
that's
what
been
I
a thing
mean?
in WWE for a while. Like if there's a big tall bodyguard standing outside and the little heel gets thrown out, oh, they'll get caught, go around the ring, put him back on. And then it's like, we'll do that 2 times, and then the 3rd time they'll throw a big guy over and wow, and then the heel will go out. And I mean, there's a reason they do that every Royal Rumble, because every Royal Rumble, people eat that shit up. I eat that shit up. It's always entertaining. So why it's like to go a little off topic, in the first match they were talking about leniency of the ref because they were outside for so long, and I think
and hit him with a
Excalibur was
beer,
like, "What?"
and hit him with a foreign object.
Yeah, and they were like, "Well, wow, this referee's being really lenient." And I think Taz and Tony Schiavone were like, "Well, I think it's better for the audience if they're a little bit more lenient because I think these people just want to watch the match." And Excalibur was like, "Oh yeah, you're right." Like, yeah, so I think
Yeah.
this is just one of those things where, like, nah, I could disqualify him, but I think people want to be here for this.
Uh, yeah. I thought that was cool with Luther. We get a hip attack to Sky Blue on the outside against the barricade. Big diving crossbody to Tony Storm for a 2 count. Um, Sky Blue hits a hip attack, Tony Storm's move. Then a running boot slide in the corner. Then a code blue for a 2 count. We get Tony Storm superplexing Sky Blue. Then the hip attack. Um,
Oh, my turn.
Sky Blue. Sky Sky Blue counters uh, the Storm Zero into a pin, only to get rolled up by Tony Storm. Tony Storm wins, and Luther was so proud. Uh, yeah, not a great match, but an okay match. Nothing really like got me. Like the Code Blue was mediocre. Everything looked, so.
Oh, you're gonna hate me. This was my match of the night.
Oh,
This was my favorite match. I thought the Code Blue looked pretty dang good, I'll admit. And I was just I guess I get worked by Tony Storm. I find her entertaining, and because I got the
Oh, her
picture in
facial expressions at the end had me cracking up. Just the way, because that lipstick she has on and the shapes her mouth turns into, I was like, she is like a friggin' cartoon character. I love her.
well, Sky Blue would like kick out or something, and she would just go, "How dare she!" as loud as she could, and she was like yelling at Sky Blue the whole time. And do you see the first big wind up punch? And she held it for like 30 seconds, and the crowd kept going and going and going and going, and she hit it, and then Sky Blue countered it like it's little thing. It's the little things, but
Yeah,
I,
no, the physical violence and the aggression I thought were ratcheted up pretty good. Like, yeah, it was I thought a very good match.
for me, I hate like for someone who hasn't seen Sky Blue that much, it felt like Sky Blue was on the level of Tony Storm, which I would say Tony Storm right now is one of your top 3 women in AEW, and this puts Sky Blue like up in that like top 10 women in AEW.
Yeah, I think her and Julia Hart both have a case to be made for most improved of 2023 from where they both were last January to where they are now. Excellent. This could have easily main evented, I thought.
I think just the pure star power of the main event. No, like that's always good. That is a pay
On
per
a
view
different
quality match.
show, though, if they
Yes,
didn't have that in the chamber, this could have been a main event
yeah.
for sure.
yeah.
Hey, different
Yeah.
opinions. That's great. Nothing
Y-
wrong with that.
Yeah. I didn't love it. I love the character. I love what Tony Storm's doing, but the match itself really didn't hit for me.
I can see that.
Everything she's doing, all the cool facial expressions and the wind up punch and the Luther stuff, love it. Every
Yeah.
bit of it.
I love how whenever Tony would hit a big move and the camera would cut, it would always cut to the black and white camera for the Tony's big move and then cut back to color. I was like, oh, that's kind of genius.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I love all the shtick.
Well,
But
maybe
yeah,
you
after
didn't
she
like. I was gonna say maybe you didn't like the match, but did you like what happened afterwards? You might know him a little more than me.
Yeah, we got Riho coming out, big return. She's the first AEW Women's Champion. She confronts Tony Storm, uh, tries to kick the shit out of her, and Luther saves Tony Storm. She wants the belt back. Yeah, the crowd was super into it too. They popped pretty hard for her return. Yeah, she's cool. I like her like kind of new look and uh yeah, looks like she evolved a little bit.
Yeah, that was exciting. It's funny. The beginning of her music has that kind of like fast techno beat, and for a minute, I thought it was going to be Jamie Hayter. I was like, oh, well, that's still pretty cool, but I wanted Jamie Hayter.
Yeah,
That's
me too.
Wembley.
Gosh,
Yeah, true
That's
that.
all in. They're
she'll be she'll
she'll
be
be what?
back before then to be in a match at Wembley.
Yeah. This was the I feel like Riho's one of the people like I've heard of. I know the name, but seeing her come out like it didn't mean anything to me. But it is always like, well, I hope the match is good. So
Oh yeah, she could definitely put on some good matches. Like she put on a believable match against Nyla Rose, which was something to see because Nyla Rose is a like Nia Jax size, like beast.
ooh.
And Riho's tiny, and it was a believable good match. I was like, oh, she's got something. She's really good.
Does
Like,
Riho kind of have like a wacky gimmick, or is she like more normal? Like, is she going to bounce off well with Tony Storm's gimmick, you think? Or
oh
is
yeah,
this.
yeah. She's versatile. Like she's like basically Kenny Omega's choice. Like he was did he train her or train with her? I think, but back in
Yeah.
Japan, like they yeah, I think they would complement each other well.
Yeah, she can go. Um, trying to think. There haven't been any like super memorable moments with Riho that really pop in my head, but yeah, she like when AEW started, she was one of the key players in the women's division, clearly because she was the first champion. But yeah, then she just like disappeared for like 2 years. So um, yeah, good to have her back. Should be a fun little feud. And yeah, did Mariah May set that up?
Who knows? I had that one pointed out to me, so I'm just kind of bringing it up like, hey, maybe.
Yeah, I
Still,
like it.
yeah.
Right. After that, we get Jay Lethal versus Jay White, Continental Classic Gold League match. Jay Lethal going in with 0 points and Jay White going in with 3. Jay Lethal can't afford to lose. Um, we got some "Let's Go Jay" chants. Uh, got a kick out of that. Um,
We got
I
some
really
Jay
like Jay
forever too.
Lethal's. Yep, we got some Jay Forever. Um, I like Jay Lethal's like cartwheel evade maneuvers. Those are really, really smooth and nice. Um, we got the "Let's Go Jay, Jay sucks" chants. Again, really hot crowd. Really loved the energy they had for Dynamite. Uh, Jay White focuses on Jay Lethal's knee throughout the match. Lethal does a cool like torture rack into a Death Valley driver, then a big elbow drop for a 2 count. And dude, Rick Knox slow counted that count. He moseyed on over, took his time. Like that was he clearly messed that up. uh, but yeah, then we get a sheer drop brainbuster to Jay Lethal for a 2 count. Uh, then we get a big chop exchange and a double eye gouge. Uh, Jay White countered the lethal injection. Uh, Jay Lethal countered the Blade Runner, goes for the lethal injection again, but Jay White takes out Jay Lethal's knee. Uh, Jay White rolls up Jay Lethal for the win. Um, you guys ever notice that after every Jay White match, he looks like he has rabies? He's foaming at the mouth. What is up with that?
He's unhinged. He needs to
It's
win
starting to
this.
get to me. And clearly he's conscious of it now. Like he's like, "Oh God, Tony told me to wipe my mouth." You know, he's like fucking. Yeah. I don't know. Do you guys ever notice that he's just foaming at the mouth after every single match?
No, I would guess he's doing that on purpose, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so ravenous. I'll have to win this match. Oh, yes, sir, I do. Yes, sir." Which I'm fine with because again, I'm a Jay White apologist. I'm coming around to him. I'm starting to like him, and this match didn't click with me. But it's also like, well, that's kind of every Jay Lethal match is he's gonna lose in this like Continental Classic, and I kind of wish like it was someone else who, even if they were just gonna lose, you might be like, oh, maybe not, but
It's funny that you mentioned being an apologist because I totally get that. Back in the day, I was totally a Baron Corbin apologist. Loved that guy, and I don't know why. Which I hear he
Happy
just won the
Corbin.
yeah. Oh, before that, like
Happy Corbin was great.
fresh out of NXT, like
And then
Corbin.
I didn't. So that was always kind of boring for me because like that's when I was watching. And then he went bald and he retired Kurt Angle, and that was just bad times. Um, and then he became a bum. He lost all his money, and he was funny again. And then he was happy, and he told awful jokes, and I liked
The
it. And
dog food incident.
that was in 2019. That was pre-pandemic. He
Uh,
became a bum post-pandemic, but he is in NXT these days, and a lot of people say he's killing it down there.
yeah,
So,
he just won his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament too.
oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. But I mean, one can almost say he's single-handedly responsible for the tribal chief.
Because the feud was so bad that he had to go
Well,
out.
the dog food thing, he poured dog food over him, and Roman was like, "Nope, I've had it. F this. I got to make a change."
Well, that was like Randy Orton with his Bray Wyatt feud, or the Fiend feud, because this was WrestleMania 37, so not that long ago. And they just had a dog match at Mania, and it went 5 minutes, and it had a bad ending, and blah, blah, blah. And Orton was like, I'm going to tag team with Riddle. And he didn't really budge on that. He's like, that's just what I'm going to do. Like, I'm tired of all this crap you're giving me, Vince. I'm going to do something fun. And that's what they did. And that's why Orton's so beloved now, is because he got to be a big baby face. And now he's a big baby face.
Hey, he was supposed to be the baby face in the Fiend thing too. He burnt a dude's house down, and he got cheered for it.
Swerve invaded a man's home. We don't care. We cheer him. I don't
True.
care.
He's getting
True.
cheered left and right.
Yeah.
We're bad people.
He cut a promo on a baby.
Hangman
Over a
stapled
baby.
a man's chest while he had his hands cuffed. We still cheer him because he deserved it. Like, that's just wrestling. It's crazy sometimes. Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Like that Continental Classic. It's too hard. Why are the points all different? Why you heard about all that complaining where it's like he has 9
Yeah.
points. Why isn't he at the top of the leaderboard? And it's like it doesn't change. It doesn't move.
People are
Wrestling
saying
is
that.
weird.
Yeah, there's like I didn't know how dumb the discourse was around this. Like I didn't think it was that complicated. And they would say things like, "Oh, they're eliminated," and then they're like, "So they don't wrestle," and it's like, "No, no, 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 no. They're eliminated from winning."
Mathematically.
And it's like you have your playoff games for football. This is basically the same thing. They're just not drawing a big 12v12 or whatever all the teams are. They're not drawing a big bracket.
This is America. We don't do math.
I know. I don't do math and I get it. Okay. Move on.
Okay.
All right, we get our main event of the night, TNT Championship match, Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage. I wrote down here, it can't have a wonky end because the MJF match had a wonky end.
Cool. So what were your ups and downs for the
Yeah. We'll talk about those matches for next week's Dynamite and all that. Yeah.
any new rumors? But yeah, seriously, Copeland slams Christian's head into the commentary desk over and over and over. They slap and choke each other right off the bat. Christian begs for mercy, goes for a low blow, but Copeland stomps his hand instead. Copeland slams Christian into the barricades over and over. Christian gets the upper hand through the commercial break. Then when we come back, Adam Copeland hit this is really cool. He hit a Russian leg sweep off the second rope to Christian.
It's,
To
Matt Manning's
clothesline
favorite
Christian.
move.
Matt Manning's favorite move. And let's see. Christian clotheslined Adam Copeland off the top turnbuckle onto the apron on the outside. We got a really cool frog splash to Adam Copeland from Christian for a 2 count. Adam Copeland countered a spear from Christian Cage with an impaler. We get a nice looking Liger bomb to Christian Cage from Adam Copeland. Got a 2 count from that. After that, Christian Cage goes for a kill switch. Then Adam Copeland countered. Then Adam Copeland gets Christian Cage in a crossface. Christian Cage gets out, dodges a spear from Adam Copeland with a leapfrog right into a kill switch for a 2 count. Christian Cage low blows the ref, grabs the TNT title, and tries to hit Adam Copeland. Both men go for a spear. Both men's shoulders collide, and both men go down. Nick Wayne's mom gets in the ring, grabs the TNT title, and hits Adam Copeland with it. Christian Cage looks shocked. The ref starts to wake up. Christian hits the kill switch on Adam Copeland, then rolls up Adam Copeland rolls him onto the TNT title and stomps his neck. The ref wakes up. Christian Cage covers him for the win. We got Doc Samson in the ring to check on Adam Copeland, and they clearly didn't get the okay from Warner Discovery for the overrun tonight because they ended that show right on the dot. Yeah, that was a very sports entertainer match, right?
Yeah, I would say that. I still enjoyed it and had a good time. I know you were a bit more negative on it, Dave, but I didn't love it. I didn't think it was a 5-star classic. I thought it was fun. I think Christian and Adam Copeland are very entertaining to watch. I'm glad we finally got this singles match in Canada and blah 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 blah. And then the like I don't have much to say about the match because like all the cool spots I have, we already said. Like the leapfrog to the kill switch was pretty tasty. The double spear was funny. People were saying that for years when it was always Roman Reigns versus Edge and Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. So it's finally nice to see a goddamn double spear. And then I loved how Adam Copeland was supposed to knock the ref down and he just messed up or biffed it or kind of just like whiffed him. So Christian was like, whatever, and I'll just low blow him. Like that was just awesome or funny because it's just Christian being Christian. And then when it actually came to the double turn, you can tell Shayna Wayne is the best actress, and that's fine. But she kind of like telegraphed it that she was going to hit Adam Copeland a lot. And the best times, like take Nick Wayne when he turned on Darby, he just went like, "Oh, I'm gonna hit him, yeah, 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 yeah," and he went boom, like immediate, and it was so quick. And I mean, we were there, but still, I'm sure in the broadcast you didn't expect it, and it was a cool moment, and blah blah blah. And this was like, oh, it was like, well, you're gonna do it, so
Yeah, you could tell Christian was telling her, "Look at me, look at me, look at me," because she obviously, not a ton of experience doing that sort of stuff,
oh
especially on
yeah,
live TV. And I think Adam Copeland maybe ahead of time should have just been like, "Don't worry about me. I've taken unprotected headshots. Lay me the fuck out," because it looked like she was trying to protect him, and I think only a trained wrestler has that uncanny ability to protect someone and make it look like it sucks to take. So I think he probably should have maybe taken one for the team a little and was like, just lay into me. Probably would have looked a little better.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the kill switch? For me, it is such a funny move. Sometimes it just looks all awkward, like hooking him. But sometimes, like when he reversed that spear into the kill switch, it's just so smooth and like out of nowhere. But sometimes it just looks like kind of awkward and clunky. I don't know. It's for me, it's a weird move. Like half the time I love it, and half the time I'm like, meh.
Probably the wrestlers taking it mostly because I'm sure Adam Copeland has taken hundreds of kill switches because I'm sure they trained on each other when they were young. So I'm sure he's like, "Oh, this is what I got to do," and of course he's his real life best friend. I think he's going to want to make him look as good as possible. So I think it's both like he wants to take it well and he can take it well because he's taken
Uh,
it 500 times.
yeah, maybe like the kind of like the styles clash. Sometimes it looks great, sometimes meh.
That's always an interesting. I love AJ Styles. He's one of my favorites. It's an interesting move for people to take.
Yeah, like James Ellsworth.
It's ineffective. He's got no chin.
True.
So I heard this interesting theory, and I wanted to bring it up here about this match and this feud and blah blah blah. Uh, is Adam Copeland the heel and is Christian the face? Because he's not. Nothing really like that bad here. So we got, you know, Darby Allin brings Nick Wayne into AEW, right? Correct me if I get something wrong, but I heard this from someone else and like I might not get all the details right. And then Swerve and AR Fox, who was Darby's friend, brutalized Nick Wayne all across their family trading place, tore up pictures of like Nick Wayne and all that. And then Darby just kind of went, "Oh, it's fine. Like, we're good." And Nick Wayne turned on Darby, not so because of that, but we're all just gonna retcon it and say he turned on him because of that. And he goes to Christian. And Christian, he's not wrong about Edge was pushed over him and Edge was always chosen over him. Edge won the first King of the Ring before Christian won anything. Edge won the Intercontinental title before Christian won anything. And so you could see that little bit of resentment. And all Christian's trying to do is give Nick Wayne a good path that Darby Allin clearly didn't, because Darby Allin's friend turned on him and didn't back him up. So Christian's just looking out for Nick Wayne. And then you got Shayna Wayne, who Adam Copeland just gave Nick Wayne a concerto just kind of cuz in front of his mother. Like he could have just walked away, but he's put the point in. The one hole in this is you gotta like pretend Luchasaurus isn't in the feud, because that kind of like crumbles it. But I like that's just kind of fun to think about. Like, oh, in a way, Christian's kind of right.
Wow. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Copeland was kind of brutal the way he got his revenge on everyone. Now that you really think about it. Uh, yeah. Good. Yeah. Good point.
Not my theory. I'm not taking credit for that. I'll take a credit for
Right.
all He Elite wrestling. I'm not taking credit for that.
Okay. Well, now I got to think about that a little before I respond to it. But I usually support the baddies anyways, and now you kind of got me leaning Christian side. But if I'm really leaning towards Christian, does that really make? Damn it,
It makes your brain hurt, right?
a little bit.
Yeah.
Do I have daddy
And
issues? Huh.
No.
yeah, this match wasn't uh what I really expected. Again, I wrote down like there can't possibly be a wonky finish twice in a night. But yeah, that you know what? It was very WCW, I feel. The whole way MJF and Samoa Joe ended up and the main event, which I will now rationalize in my brain that that's a good thing.
Let it play out.
Uh yeah.
The curse
Chandler,
of
So yeah,
Chandler's
but
WWE.
favorite. Chandler's favorite term.
That let it play out has a very, very strict deadline for me. And if what I want doesn't happen by that deadline, it is over. There's no more letting it play out. We have until WrestleMania 40 to night 2 to go off air. for Cody to win the title off of Roman Reigns. And if that specifically doesn't happen, it's over. We're so over.
Really? 42?
No, 40.
Oh,
40, night 2.
Oh, that's.
I'm
I
not
misheard
waiting.
you.
I'm not waiting till 41. This has to be wrapped up by WrestleMania 40, night 2, for me to be fine.
But if he does have it, will you have quite a bit of adrenaline in your soul?
Oh, something, Cody Rhodes. I'll be feeling it that night.
But yeah, we're gonna get the good Christian Adam Copeland match probably at World's End.
Oh yeah, we got to pay for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be a absolute banger. I'm actually looking really forward to this pay-per-view, even though we only have Samoa Joe versus MJF.
Are we gonna get any
announced.
stipulations for Christian Cage?
Maybe a Christian Cage match.
Oh, you
Yeah.
freaking took that right out of my mouth.
If they
Yep.
weren't, yeah, if they weren't getting up there in years, I would love to see a TLC, but I don't think those guys could do that match justice anymore. No
I've
offense to
heard
them, but they're
that.
both in their 50s.
Yeah.
I mean, that 2 out of 3 falls match was pretty crazy, but that was more so because of what Christian did to Darby, not the other way around. But hey, you never know.
Yeah. And, like I said, I wish you could turn back the clock. Like, I don't know if they're ever gonna team up and try to go after the Hardy Boys, but I think that's just gonna be painful to watch. Especially after Jeff's last little podcast tirade. Oof, bad look.
Oh, what was it?
Oh, he was just complaining about his booking, and you think we'd be in something cooler, yada yada yada. And
I thought that was
He
Matt
feels
Hardy
like a
saying
ghost.
that.
it was Matt Hardy's podcast, but Jeff Hardy was the one that said it.
I don't know. I got something real harsh to say about that, but like,
Ooh, spill the tea.
it's just
Wow,
like,
did I just say that? Am I a teenage girl?
yes, I will spill the tea, sis. It's kind of just like, I don't know. Look at the people getting pushed, and look at why you're not. Can you not see a common correlation between those? Like, take anyone in the Continental Classic, anyone at all. Take
Jay Lethal.
He can wrestle a match. His match weren't bad. They were good. They were fine. He
can still do a flip.
Yeah. Can the Hardys?
Matt can't even walk normal without looking painful.
No, like whenever I watch them, it's like they're like wrestling like this. Like they're at like a 45-degree angle with their back and they're trying to compensate for it that they're not. Like I don't have any time. I think, I take Jericho for granted when I start looking at the Hardys and I'm like, oh, it can always be worse.
I'd rather see Paul White actually wrestle a full match.
I would not.
Wow. That is tough. Okay, here we go. Here's the new rule. You have to watch one title match. MJF versus Paul White or Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus the Hardys. Who's up?
MJF, he would make that shit interesting.
I think you're right. I think the MJF Paul White thing could work because like MJF would just make it funny. But like Ricky Starks and Big Bill, I don't want to see Ricky Starks get worked over by Matt or Jeff Hardy. Remember, they stomped and squashed FTR. Are they going to have a competitive match with the Hardys now?
No. I mean, before Jeff Hardy got that DUI, they were going to be putting the tag belts on them. That was the plan.
You're kidding. I'll never say I'm glad someone got a DUI. All I'm saying is glad that plan didn't happen.
I'll say it. I'll be the heel. I'm glad he got a DUI.
Wouldn't have been that good of a
did we
run.
just get canceled?
No.
Should I edit that out?
We hope he probably.
I'm not.
We hope he gets help. We hope he has been helped. We hope he's healthy. But I don't really want to see him wrestle anymore. Like Goldberg. I don't really want to see him wrestle anymore.
I want to see him one match in AEW.
I'll give you that. I want one.
against Paul White.
Yes. Double retirement.
No,
Double retirement.
no.
Okay, don't you want to see Goldberg spear him in half? Because he can do it.
Ooh, yeah.
The
I want to see
last
the jackhammer again.
last time I went to Raw when it was in Portland, they went off the air, and then Paul White's music hits for the dark match, and it's like, oh. And then who's he gonna wrestle? Who's he gonna wrestle? Then all of a sudden, Brock fucking Lesnar's music hit. I was like, huh. I didn't even know he was in town. He just walked out, F5 Big Show, turned around and walked back out. I was like, that was worth it.
Dude,
That was worth it.
I had that with Rusev. Because it was an entire episode of Raw, and it was a bad episode of Raw. Because this was like 2019 Dean Ambrose, right before he managed to get fired, but he was like, everyone knew, like WWE announced he wasn't resigning, so he was just terrible. EC3 started and he was terrible. Nia Jax was in like the men's division. Like, it was just a bad time for Raw. And then it comes out, and Rusev just comes out, and he's like, oh, I didn't have a match, I wasn't on the card, blah, blah, blah. And then Lesnar's music hits, and he comes out, and he F5s him, and he walks away. So it's like, you had Lesnar backstage.
He was here?
Why didn't he wrestle? Why wasn't Paul Heyman in a promo?
Yeah, I want to say that when I was at, there was a couple of them pretty in quick succession, but I think it was the one when Goldberg came out too. He cut a promo on Kevin Owens, and it was like, you had both these guys here.
Yeah, it's like, why wouldn't you use these guys? You have them just sitting around in the back.
Poor Dave. He's like, what is going on right now?
That's funny. It's funny. Yeah, I'm not everyone out there, I'm not the WWE fan of the group.
CM Punk is going to come out for a dark match at Dynamite, just one, like, and it's going to be fucking crazy, and they're never going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
everybody
flip
put
it.
your
Dynamite?
phones around. There could be no evidence of this happening, and it has to only be hearsay.
It's like when, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Did you guys hear about Bryan Danielson being on the disciplinary committee who voted to get rid of Punk?
Seems like he's just
I don't-
a disciplinary member going forward, right?
Yeah. Apparently, he's
Not only
helped issue some fines to some naughty Twitter users too.
yeah, they got to rein that stuff in.
It does look
It's not a
bad
good
on the-
look.
Yeah. Well, did you see? I mean, there's some stuff where it is kind of like, ooh, interesting. Like Santana. Apparently, it's been 6 weeks since their big Santana Ortiz blowout street fight, and Santana hasn't been on TV since. So,
Huh.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
just a fact. And Santana tweeted like 6 weeks. I don't think he said anything else. I think he just said it's been 6 weeks, and I think he got a fine for that.
I did not know that. Huh.
probably Britt Baker got one too.
For that same thing where MJF promo time, Christian promo time, Britt Baker 2022. It's like nothing.
Yeah.
We
It
want to
is
get
what
into,
it is.
we want to get into highs and lows for the night.
Yeah, let's do that. I guess I'll go first. Let's see. My high of the night, my high point was Swerve and Mark Briscoe. That was my match of the night. High point. I'm on the Swerve train right now, like 110%. Give it to me. Like, I have to see that shiny belt twinkling around his waist by March 2024. Like, gotta happen.
I'll give him
So-
a little bit more time, but I do agree with you. I need to see it in 2024.
You don't think it'll be that quick?
No,
quick
That's
Samoa Joe reign.
that's my creative pitch because I don't know how injured MJF is. They might just do what they did with Jay White, but for real. And that kind of grosses me out, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's March 22. That'd be what, Revolution? I think they're going to give that spotlight to Sting and maybe All Out or Wembley. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, I'm all about Swerve right now. And I do like that, Hangman said, this isn't over. So we're gonna get more of that at some point. Yeah, not my favorite episode. Uh, again, the Continental Classic is my most entertaining part. Um, oh yeah, and then my low point was not getting a MJF Samoa Joe tag match. That was a big kick in the gut for me, to be honest. Uh, but yeah, how about you, Chandler?
For me, my favorite thing on the show was the Tony Storm Sky Blue match. I was thoroughly sports entertained, and I also thought it was a pretty good match. And even at a surface level, the idea of the first AEW Women's Champ coming out to challenge Tony Storm at the end, that's a good idea. That's smart. So that's probably my favorite thing. And not to just copy you, but I really don't have anything else that was a pure negative. I'm kind of getting tired of the devil story just a little bit. I'm almost out of it. And I like throwing Hangman into it, even if it's just a red herring. But it's also like, but we didn't get a match. We didn't get any identities revealed. We didn't see anything. So the story hasn't gone anywhere from today. So I would probably just give that entire segment, match, whatever you want to call it, and Chad might remember this, but there was a faction in WWE right in 2020 called Retribution.
Yeah, T-Bar.
That's a
I know
loaded
about Retribution.
that's a loaded word in the wrestling community, and I'm not saying
They
that
had
they're
a hacker and
Retribution.
everything.
I'm not saying that, but they're not far. They're like starting to grab it. So if they don't unmask members or maybe get a little bit more serious or something like that, I think it'll lose me at a much quicker rate.
Oh yeah, I need progression. Honestly, I just need that whole thing to end. Let's reach our conclusion and move on.
You think it should be like 12, 15 people too.
Well, yeah, because you're gonna
Just the
have.
Dark Order creepers.
Well, I was gonna say if more fuel to the fire for it being the elite, that's where they got all the people messing with the production, which that would kind of make sense. As it's like, yeah, we own them, we own these guys. We'll do whatever we want. So
Yeah, Joe the
Yeah, again,
audio guy.
Yeah, yeah, I want that now. The elite to be,
Yeah, Chandler yet
Devil
again.
Dumpling.
He's my Booker of the Year now.
I hope I didn't get your hopes up. I don't, it
If
won't
it
be
is,
the elite.
if it's not the elite or Dalton Castle, I'm out.
The devil's gonna come out and hit a 1 weekend angel on MJF, and we're all just gonna be like, "I knew it."
Yeah, yeah, and if it isn't them, we still get to find out about this killing the business or wrestling or whatever. They're
Yeah, KTB
yeah,
killing the business. It's one of their
yeah,
sayings. In fact, I think that was the name of their book. I just read that not too long ago too. Which, if you
yeah.
haven't, the Young Bucks little biography is quite good.
I didn't know they had that.
Also, audiobook is very good too.
What about you, Chad? What were your highs and lows for the evening?
My high was actually the crowd. It was fun to see them in front of a hot crowd. Yeah, Montreal. I'm Canadian, so naturally I like hockey. The Habs, that's their hockey team in Montreal, is that's always been known, kind of almost like Seattle. Like, just it's always a good time. They're always loud. They're always get into the show. So it was fun to see that as a wrestling crowd. My low devil stuff. I'm kind of over it at this point. It's like become a meme to me now. Where the more ridiculous the theory is, the more I want it to happen. Other than your elite revelation, which I can't believe I haven't thought of. But yeah, no. Other than that, like the best ones I have now are like weird things like Dalton Castle. Like I just wanted to pull the mask off and just be like, "What? Hornswoggle?
It's a boy. It's
Yeah.
another boy. How many boys are underneath this? And then they're like, "Oh, it's Wardlow." He's like, "Nah, I'm War Boy."
I kind of want to see Wardlow with a peacock mask on now.
Oh, now I want that. I don't want the elite as the devils. I
By the
want
way, have
Dalton
you guys
Castle.
ever watched Being the Elite? Oh, because
Oh yeah.
they stopped doing that, but now the Dark Order have taken over as Being the Dark Order, and I've only seen 2 episodes. I think they only have 2 now, and both of them feature Dalton Castle and the boys quite heavily. It's fucking gold.
You
Flipping
should
gold.
check it out, Taylor.
Not a bad
Flipping
thing.
gold.
Yeah,
We're this late. I think it's fine.
yeah, but you do have to sit through some pretty weird Iron Savages stuff.
Anything for the boys,
Eating ass.
except for watching
yeah.
Ring of Honor. I will not watch Ring of Honor for the boys, but I'll do anything for those boys.
Yeah, their segments on the show is worth it.
I wrote down the Continental Classic matches that are coming up. You want me to say them?
Do it.
So we got the Rampage one, obviously Danielson versus Garcia. I think Garcia's won before, but I think this will just be a win for Danielson because it's on Rampage. Then you got Collision. We already talked about it. It's only Andrade and Danielson versus Claudio and Kingston. So 2 big rematches, as they were calling it last week, but still exciting. And then Dynamite for Winter is coming. They've announced all of them. So it's the Swerve and Mox, which is very exciting. Jay White versus Briscoe, which is a rematch of the main event we saw in Portland. So that's exciting. That was a pretty cracking match. And then Roosh and Lethal. So I think one really, really interesting. I think both Collision matches are really interesting. And then one of the Dynamite matches are really interesting.
Yeah. Now they taped Collision already, correct? Did you guys
Yeah, they
hear
taped it on
that?
Tuesday.
Yeah, Danielson got his eye busted open, from what I hear.
Active, yeah, and I hear before that happened, he was selling eye because that's what he does. When he came back from concussion, he was selling bad head stuff, and it's like, oof.
Yeah. Any other rumors, news, anything that we caught our interest over the past couple days? I can't think of anything else really.
CM Punk will be on SmackDown tomorrow. And I think
Ooh.
he'll be on Raw on Monday. So we might actually hear something of substance from him now. Ken Shamrock is coming back to the WWE reportedly.
He's looking jacked.
I think I'll make a little video on that, just kind of talking about it, what he might do, where he's been, because it's been a while. I want to say 99 is
Been a
when he left.
while. Sorry, I apologize. I will never sing again.
No, you're gonna have to start singing our intros.
Yeah.
Only if I can cut it as a new metal intro.
Ooh. Other than that, I'm not too sure. It's been a somewhat quiet week.
Yeah.
Yeah, traditionally a quiet time of year in wrestling.
For sure. All right. Well, I think that might about do it for the show. Make sure, again, like, subscribe, comment, share, ring that bell. We can really use your support. We really appreciate it. We're having a blast doing this. Yeah, check out our some of our other videos we've made. I got a pretty neat one up about 5 reasons why AEW is the spiritual successor to WCW. But yeah, I think that's about all we have. Yeah. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Chandler, for joining.
Thanks for
And everyone
hosting.
out there. Yeah, everyone out there.
A couple extra co-hosts this episode too. The doggos
Yeah.
have been popping in and out.
Oh yeah, I think that'll get the clicks. Cool. All right, everyone out there.
Shawn
Thank you
Michaels?
for. Yeah.
I get that reference.
Cool. Thank you all out there for joining, and check us out next time. Have a good one.
Peace.
Bye bye.